Hey everybody, welcome back. Movie review time, where we geek out about a movie we just saw, and we just saw Joker. So this is gonna be our This is gonna be our that's a thumbnail. This is gonna be our no spoiler review. We're just gonna take a few minutes to give you our overall thoughts and opinions on the new movie. And if we say a spoiler, we'll cut it out, so you should be fine for that. However, we will have a spoiler-filled review coming out, like tomorrow or something, where we can talk about specifics of things we really want to talk about, because there's some specifics
There's a lot of specifics.
This is gonna be hard for both of us to do a no spoiler review because there's a lot we can't really say. And that being said, this could be one of those movies where this review or whatever is so popular or heated debate, so be very careful in the comment section on here if you're avoiding spoilers, because people might just be coming in here and saying things more so than usual. But I just wanted to throw that out there at the beginning of a video for once. Also, if you like movie reviews and you like my opinions, since we don't do horror in theater typically, although you could make a case for this, I've started doing Blu-ray Tuesday reviews on my Patreon. Right now you can go see the Child's Play 2019 review for free. So link in the description. Okay, so Joker.
Okay. It's a very good movie.
It's definitely, at the minimum, it's a very good movie. At minimum. Still processing though.
Kind of feel like the
great?
name works for and against it.
Yeah.
And we'll get more into that in the spoilers.
Yeah. Joaquin Phoenix, phenomenal. As expected. He was fantastic. He becomes very terrifying in a very realistic, unhinged kind of manner.
And I can see how opinions are going to be really divided on it.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of your general worldview is going to really shape how you view this movie.
Yeah, and that's one of the things, again, kind of works for it and against it, like you say, that it is one of those movies that does have a lot that kind of is left open to interpretation. You can come at this movie from a lot of different angles. Some angles that were even said to not be happening, I'm like, I don't know. I could see, if I'm looking for that angle in there, I can see that angle in there.
This is the kind of movie that people go, I can write a thesis on this.
Yes. But at the same time, I wonder how much of that is his performance and like our society's like perception of this movie before it comes out. Like that, how much is that shaped there? Because I'm not entirely sure that the filmmaking itself is. I could be wrong. Like I said, this is taking some processing. We're right out of the theater basically. We went to dinner, but the filmmaking might just be okay, or maybe it's great. I'm still like, I don't know.
The setting, I don't feel like this is a spoiler. The setting is in the early 80s.
Right, I think that's that's set up in the trailers. And just to be clear, for people that don't know, hold your thought, because I want you to, but this is not attached to any of the other DC worlds. This is like its own version of these characters and whatever they do. So it's not like a tie-in to the Jared Leto or any of that kind of stuff. Or maybe it is. I'm not going to spoil that element specifically, but at least the bulk of the movie, because I know some people out there are confused. They don't understand how like Elseworlds kind of stuff can work.
Okay.
So again, I'm not spoiling if it does tie into any Batman stuff. Just saying that much.
Okay.
That don't be coming in for a Batman movie.
Now, what was my thought? Because that was a really long sidetrack.
Sorry, I just felt that was important to mention, because I was surprised how much even the people that work at the theater were confused about that.
Yeah. Anywho. So what I was saying is, okay, I finally remembered. Yeah.
Okay.
So it takes place in the early 80s, but what's going on is like, under the right circumstances, I could see this happening tomorrow.
Yeah, it does have kind of a timeless element to the story. It's very modern while also being retro in that setting. And I like that they didn't really go for like, it wasn't like nostalgia 80s. It wasn't like, ooh, it's the 80s. Oh, you remember this? Oh, look at this toy or this commercial or this food or blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
It really,
there's like no product placement in there.
Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm not entirely sure why this is set in the 80s at all, really. It could totally be set in modern day. I mean, you can tell from some of the cars and stuff, and maybe the lack of cell phones, but interesting.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's a valid question, but the lack of, like, surveillance and video and whatnot might have...
Okay, yeah, that can help tell the story a little bit. That's a good point. Yeah, that's true. Crime solving and stuff.
Yeah.
I think
we're going to see more stuff set in the past just so we
People can avoid that. Yeah, that makes sense. But again, in case we didn't say it enough, Joaquin Phoenix is phenomenal in here. Like, you do care for him at times, and then you don't, and you do, and, you know, it really is a character study, which is what I was expecting it to be. Yeah. But also, I kind of thought with all the hype around it and the people involved, I really thought it was going to be something more thought-provoking about, like, ourselves and the civilization we live in and all that. But it doesn't. It is thought-provoking in the storytelling about the movie. Like, you have to think about some things, and when you walk out of the theater, you can argue a lot of things about it. But I thought maybe because we were looking at this sort of descent into madness, which even that doesn't quite is as much of that as you might think it's going to be. I was thinking maybe, and this maybe it's just my expectations, but I was feeling and hearing about the standing ovations and stuff. I'm like, there must be something really to this that really deeply explores things that I don't know that it really deeply explored. And maybe that's where I'm having this disconnect of, is it good or is it great? Or somewhere in between?
It's actually, in some ways, it's right about what I expected.
Okay.
In terms of spoilers.
Yeah, you gotta be careful with spoilers.
It could have gone much further in some directions.
Yeah.
But it was one of those things, it's to be mentally unwell but still functional. And that is more the route that we went down.
Yes and no, but I see what you mean. It's getting close to spoilery territory, so we'll save that discussion more for spoilers. But yeah, and it is dark. It is very dark. It's very brutal. But I wouldn't necessarily say there's anything in here that's not predictable. I found it like
there are scenes that are brutal, but it's kind of like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. There's not.
Yeah, it really is just like dialogue scenes and character stuff, and not in a boring way. It is well handled because, again, the performances are fantastic, and you're interested in these characters and what's going to happen. And there is a building sense of dread, throughout the whole movie. And even when the things you know are going to happen are about to happen, I found myself kind of like clenching up in the seat, like, oh, shit's going to go down, Yeah. So I mean, that's helpful too, I guess. So, I mean, that's definitely a thing in the right direction. Yeah, pacing's fine. It doesn't drag anywhere. I was kind of surprised with where it starts in the story and how the story starts, because really the marketing is not misleading, but it's not exactly what.
A lot of the trailer is the very beginning of the movie.
Yeah. Most of what you've seen, aside from a few things, most of what you've seen in the trailers is the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff you haven't seen. But I think if you've seen the trailers and you kind of think you know what's going to happen, you probably pretty much know what's going to happen.
Yeah, but there are
to a certain degree.
There are some twists in there that you don't really see coming. And
yeah, no, there's a few really cool things that are like, did they? There's a lot of, they did that? Wait, no, they didn't do that. Wait a minute, did they do that? That's kind of the whole movie. Like in a certain sense, and I think that's great because, like I said, I'm not spoiling the ending, but the way it ends, we've even been kind of debating a little bit.
And you'll get all that in the spoiler.
Yeah, because it is very much a movie that you can, like you said, it depends on what your worldview is. You can take from this movie what you want to take from this movie. Which, I don't know, I can't decide if that's a good thing or not, because, I mean, typically art changes you. It doesn't reinforce you. I don't...
But we are living in an echo chamber culture, so almost everything tends to reinforce rather than change your view. Yeah,
to a degree, unless you actually actively seek out things to change your view. Yeah. But and then Zazie Beetz is really good in it. Not in it a lot. Nobody's really in this a lot.
Except for Joaquin.
Yeah, I mean, it really is his movie. And I mean, physically and everything, like just in his eyes, like he is great in this. And I could see Oscar buzz. Okay. No, that's just I'm having some kind of Bluetooth signal. I should not have done the update because things are worse than they were. So that's weird. No, it's fine.
I tried to remind you because you kept going, I haven't done the update yet.
I know, for like months. I was like, I keep needing to do this firmware update. Anyways, that's not what we're about here. But yeah, definitely not for the kids, obviously. The music's pretty good.
Not a kids movie at all.
No.
Should we tell them what this definitely is not?
If it's not a spoiler, I guess. Then no, I think I know what you're talking about. So we want to leave that because that for me was part of the surprise. Was is it or will it or won't it?
Okay.
All right. Sorry, I had to explain how even though you don't specifically say a spoiler, saying something has been spoiled by a certain was like, well, that is spoiling it.
I oopsied.
Yeah, it's okay. I still think you're adorable. But yeah, so yeah.
You're adorable.
But yeah, I think that's good. We should probably move on to the spoilers.
I think we should move on.
I think we covered it, and hopefully we did an okay job of not spoiling anything there. I'm a little bit worried about a thing we danced around, but yeah, so definitely we look forward to hearing what you have to say. But again, if you try to keep the comments no spoilers, but I know some people are going to jump in there, or theoretically could. Intentionally or unintentionally, so just be careful with that. Mm-hmm. But you can let us know if you're going to see it or whatever, or if you enjoyed it, if you agree with us or whatnot.
Yeah, if you want to discuss it in depth, wait until our spoiler video.
Yeah, then you can comment whatever you want, and we'll put a link and all that stuff. But other than that, you can click the thumbs up button, give us the good old thumb of encouragement, as we do love to be encouraged, and then check out my Patreon for more movie reviews, more movie gameplay, Stardust for our movie reactions, because we do that right out of the theater. TheEricButts are links in the description for both of those. And now we're going to get out of here so we can go watch some more, so we can go talk some spoilers and then watch some more stuff. We'll see you all later.